Good afternoon, everyone. This is Eric for wickedfinds.com, making I guess you could say, finds of the week video. This isn't really what this is because this week we really didn't get to go out that much. So this is just general stuff that we've gone over the weeks that I think you'd be interested in. First up, we have a hunting small game with shotgun and rifle. This came in a little lot of maps, actually, and it's in pretty good shape. I don't think you can see it, but it's dated 1946. Probably worth about $5 at a flea market. I think I paid that for the maps. This is really cool. I'm not sure if you can see this. I think when I hold it like that you can. But this is a solid brass negative of a military photo. You can see in the background this plane and the uniforms. On the back, don't think you can focus, but it says Bordina John Van and Dilly Murray B. I'm assuming those are the two guys on there. Gonna see if I can have this printed and see how the photo turns out, but I haven't seen a solid brass negative before, so it's pretty cool. Not sure what it's worth. This is a ski mobile, as you'd think. It's a new old stock in box, and I'm not sure if it's such a great idea to have a bunch of little sharp metal men flying around the head of your son or daughter. But regardless, you see there you got the instructions and you got the skiers. This was $1, so I decided to take a chance on it. I mean, might only sell for $5, but you know, take 5 times your money. Alright. This is pretty interesting. This is a Kunst, Bavaria, Germany. Kind of an interesting name, but what you can't see on this is probably the most important part. Right below where it says Germany, U.S. Zone. Now the U.S. Zone was Western Germany before it was called Western Germany, and that only existed from 1945 to about 1950. So it was a very short time to have something called U.S. Zone, which I think is pretty neat. How much is it worth? Maybe $20. I think I got this in a lot of stuff quite a while ago. Quite pretty though. This is I think what they call a celery dish. This is cut glass. I'm not sure if you can see this, but you can see it's all very nicely cut. And the way you can tell cut glass, first of all, there's no press marks. There won't ever be press marks in cut glass. Second, on the bottom, if you run your fingers over it, you can feel it's very sharp. And cut glass, unless it's been polished to absolute hell, is sharp all along the corners because, well, it's cut. Pressed glass is always very dull. So, it's probably not worth a whole lot, but it might be $10 to someone. This came in another $5 box of stuff. I think it's pretty. That's just me. These are pretty interesting. We have a pair here. These are vintage lucite from about 1960s and 70s. I'm just going to take the little one here because the big one's exactly the same, but bigger. It's like an orange lucite. Got a little wall hanger on the back. And lucite stuff is always very collectible. It's always very The thing is broken there. It's always very nice to have if you can find real lucite. And the only way you can really tell is just the feel. Lucite, it's hard to tell, but it just feels different and it kind of looks different in the light than modern plastic. But those might be worth $20 for the pair, which isn't bad for old plastic seahorses. Whatever. This is something I wanted to show you guys. This is where I get a lot of the smaller stuff and big boxes like this. And this is how you get stuff at an auction. They'll just sometimes just have these big, beers. It's a beer flat, if you can tell from Heineken. They just filled up with stuff. Some of it's junk, some of it's interesting. Got an old flashlight there. And then, you got just, this is a cleaner for a pistol, I think. So, you just buy this, and the reason I bought this one, there was a little travel clock in there that I got. Made in Germany. I sold that one for $10. The box is $5. So whatever was left in here is pretty much, profit. And well, it's not high-end stuff. These are like a fishing stuff, fishing lures. A whole big package of vintage ones. No barcode, so if you can get $1, $2, $3 for stuff in here, you're probably going to make $20 on the box. And that's just with the stuff left. So, something to keep in mind. If you buy a whole bunch of stuff for cheap, you can usually make a profit. It's not crap. If I sound stuffy today, it's just because of my allergies. I have no idea why. I'm in my basement right now. The reason for this is because it's raining. I really, really don't want to get some of the stuff wet, so I'm trying to make do with the best I have. Let me see if I can... This camera's kind of weird down here. This one. This is a vintage watch display. Let me see if you can... vintage watches were kind of a cheaper line of watches that Hamilton produced from about the 30s until about the 70s. They're cheaper. Down here it says product of the Hamilton Watch Company. This display probably dates from about the late 60s to the early 70s. It's plastic. This is plastic, and as you can see, inside there is where you can put all your watches. It's a bit dirty, I'm sorry. I got this for a price you really can't beat. It was free. And the reason it was free was because this corner is broken. Somebody dropped it. Oh yeah, it's also lighted. You can see up in there, there's a light. It's a very short cord, but you can plug it in and it lights up. But since it's broken, it's probably not worth a whole lot. If I put a $20 price sticker on it at a flea market, someone might just buy it to put it on their shelf, but I'm not sure if I'm going to sell this one. I think it's pretty cool, and it would be great for displaying watches since it has this detail, these graphics on the front. So, can't beat free. This was something that I'm not too familiar with, but I just decided to give it a shot. I think it's Louis Vuitton. I'm not quite sure though. Now I know that most of this Louis Vuitton stuff is fake, but I mean this is pretty nice for fake, I think. On there it says Louis Vuitton Paris, made in France. You have all of the red striping on the leather. You can see the Louis Vuitton on there. It's nice. Right there, it's nice. Let me open it up. Inside you got the Louis Vuitton, and then there's a date code in there on the little strip of brown. That's a piece of leather, and that's a date code. And right in there it says Louis Vuitton. It's been used, but you know, it's just a nice little purse. This was $5. And, you know, even if it isn't real, I could probably give it to my girlfriend and she'd love it forever. So might as well take a chance. If not, I'm going to make her happy. I'm going to try and speed this up since I don't want to take too long. This is a community glass, I believe is what it's called, ice bucket. It's kind of a, not sure if you can tell here, but you can see it's tinted blue. I think it's from about the 30s. On the bottom there is a little stamp. Don't think you can see it, but there's a C and a triangle. And that's how I was able to figure out who made it. That was $5, and I'm probably going to try and get 30 for this one. This was interesting. I do come across a lot of oil lamps, but none that really look like this. Usually they look like, I don't have another one around here to show you, but you know, they're the classic oil lamp, tall with a flute and other stuff, but this one's like a little tabletop one. Not in the greatest shape, but I've cleaned it up. It was really dirty when I got it, and you know, you can see there, it's still some dirt left. That's really how it looked. I paid, I think, $5 or $6 for this. You know, just as a decorative piece. I think you could get $10 to $15 at a flea market or yard sale for it. These. This is something I'm always on the lookout for. These are cut glass. I think they're crystal, actually. We got a set of 4 of tumblers, and you can tell that they're really nice because they're heavy. This is heavy glass, and all of this here is pretty sharp too, so I think it's partly cut. No chips and no names is an important thing, but just as a set of nice tumblers, you know, I've seen these go for $20 to $50, but I think the ones that are going for more have a name. Still, I got these in a big lot of glass. I already sold most of the glass for $35, so I think I could get $10 for these 4 at a yard sale or something. I hope. If not, I'm probably going to keep them for myself. They look very nice. Here we have I'm not really sure what these are called. I think they're just decorative. But they've been, on the bottom here it says custom framed by Frameworks. So you know, someone took the time and the money to have these framed, to put them in a custom frame. These are silk. This is all silk. And I believe it's all hand done. Got a little piece of brass up here. I mean, they're nice and they're quality. I'm not sure if these are standalone pictures, or what these could have been off of is a old kimono. I know sometimes if you take an old kimono that's damaged, people will take off bits of it and make art. This is the same thing as the other one. I don't know. I got these with a whole bunch of pictures. Not really sure what they're worth, or if anyone will even buy them, but I don't know. Might just stick a price of $10 on the pair and see what happens. The last thing I have for you, or second to last, is a vintage. You probably won't be able to see it, but this is a 1959 vintage Coleman. Right there it has the Coleman glass in pretty nice shape, and you should always be on the lookout for these old Colemans, because usually if you can get them in good shape like this, the standard green ones, I have some more around here somewhere, but I really don't want to go away from the camera. The standard big green ones, you can probably get $30 for them if they're old enough. 60s and under are really preferable. Since this one's a 50s and a little red one, these are a bit harder to find. I think I can get $40 for it. I paid $5, so there's plenty of money to be made there. And the way you can tell these are old Colemans, first of all, the label is different, and all of the old Colemans always have a date on the bottom. Usually just a number, like 667 would be the 6th month of 1967 this was produced. This one says 7/59, so it's the 7th month of 1959 this was produced. But it's always a good tip. Check these old Colemans. You'd be surprised where you can find some vintage Colemans. People really... Oh, shit. Yeah, paint came off. Crap. Oh well. Shit happens. Last thing I have. Not really sure what you'd call this, but on here it says the Executive Desk Chum, stainless steel, made in USA. I think this is probably from the 30s, even though it doesn't really look like it, because on here it says Welders Supply Co. Phone number 3.3451, and that's an old phone number. That's it's got some Art Deco-ish lines. So I think it's from the 30s, but what it is, it's like a letter opener. And then this piece, the bottom piece, swivels out so you can measure it. And you can then measure it in inches and millimeters, and there's also a radii for angles here. I mean, this is a very nice quality build. Oh, it's also got decimal equations on the back. I know you won't be able to see them because it's so shiny and this camera's shit, but I mean, this is just really nice, and it's actually quite useful to have because I've been using this to measure stuff. It's very accurate. I think I got this in a box of stuff when I was first starting out. If I wanted to sell it, I could probably sell it for $35-40 because it comes in the little sheath. But I don't think I'm going to sell it. I really like it. Alright folks, that's all I have for you today. Well, I have plenty more stuff. Ow! That was a light in my head. But that's all for today. I've already probably wasted about half an hour babbling about this stuff. If you'd be nice enough to leave feedback, since I'm studying it, I'd like to know if I should talk less, what else I should talk about, that kind of stuff that can be improved on. That would be greatly appreciated. I hope you have a good day.